Hello out there, Caniac Nation. Thanks for joining us on a quick kind of emergency session 42. Good morning. I'm
Morning.
Griff.
I'm AB.
And today we're just going to kind of dive into the loss last night in overtime, just barely into overtime, um, that saw the Hurricanes go down 3-0 in this second round series against the Rangers. Talk about that. We're going to talk about some big picture stuff. And then really, I had some thoughts last night when I was sitting in the parking lot trying to get out of the arena, and some things kind of went through my mind, like, you know, that could potentially happen if we lose this series. And well, I won't say just lose this series, but get beat in 4 or 5 games in this series, which is potentially could happen. But we'll get into that and kind of dive into it, and then just kind of start trying to heal here. How you doing though, AB? You doing all right, buddy?
Yeah, I just will say to recap the night. Uh, Man, we started off really strong. Getzel had the tip. They tied it, and of course, our power play is not good and gave up a shorthanded goal that ultimately would kill us. But Svetch tied it, and then less than 2 minutes into overtime, uh, Panarin gets a tip, and they're up 3 games to none. And I will say it's not over until the fat lady sings. But there have only been 4 teams in NHL playoff history that have come back from a 3-0 deficit to advance. So, not feeling optimistic or at all.
No, in order to come back in this series, you're going to have to win Saturday night at home, and then you're going to have to go get Game 5 in Madison Square Garden. Which, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. They could win these next 2 games, and then you'd get a Game 6 back at home. You'd have to win that, and then you'd have to go on the road at Madison Square Garden and win Game 7. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility, and I don't want to like just trash everything right now. I mean, they still have to, the Rangers still have to win one more game. And as close as all of these games have been, if special teams is just a little bit better, then we could be up 3-0 in the series, or we could be up 2-1 in this. I mean, it could have gone. A lot of this could have gone either way, anyway. And so it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's very highly unlikely that we go on to win 4 games in a row on a team that started the postseason 7-0.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this too. There was a thing of Kochetkov after it looked like he had the tears in his eyes. I just want to say that none of that was his fault. I mean, everything that he did that game. I mean, he kept us in that entire game.
Yeah, he was
Um,
he was amazing.
for a month not playing to play like that against probably the most dangerous team right now. And it showed a graphic the first time the Rangers ever went 7-0 in the playoffs was when they won the Stanley Cup, I believe. So I hate to say this, but I really think the Rangers are in contention to win the whole thing. It sucks to say, but you know it, they've played unbelievable. So and they can score on the power play. We
Yeah,
can't.
the postseason has become who's got the best special teams, I believe is what the postseason has become. And it's got to be supplemented by 5-on-5 play. But if you've got a dangerous power play and you can, not get dominated in every other facet of the game, then you've got a solid chance. But you never know. Like I said, you get a win Saturday night at home, which is very possible. The Canes will be, laying it all on the line. So maybe they'll pull out a win. Maybe, you never know. Maybe you can go back to Madison Square Garden in game 5 game 5 and get one on the road. And then it's a 3-2 series. Then you coming back home on home ice. So, if you can somehow manage to get the next 2 wins, you feel pretty good about coming back home for game 6.
Mm-hmm.
If you can manage to get that one, you never know. You never know.
Love the hat, by the way.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
I like that hat. I like that North Face hat you got on too. Where'd you get that?
My buddy, we had a couple libations, and I said, "Oh man, you forgot your hat." He was like, "I'll keep it." So that's how I
Oh,
got
so
the
that's not
hat.
so you stole it?
No, I was
Given
gifted
it.
the hat.
Oh. Well, you should gift me that hat.
No.
All right. So, yeah, like I said, I don't want to be too doomsday about this, but let's talk big picture for a minute. Um, I think the percentages or the chance of us coming back and winning this series, I think they said 98% chance that or when a team goes up 3-0 in a series, 98% of the time they lose that series. What does that
Yeah.
really mean? Does that really mean anything? I don't know. It just means that it's hard. Yeah. Um, but the last team to do it, interesting enough, was the 2014 Kings when they came back from a 3-0 deficit to the Sharks. And one of the guys on that team, that 2014 Kings team, is in our building, right? Justin Williams was part of that team. So maybe he can pull some magic out there and give it to the team. But some things. Well, let's just talk. I just want to talk about what's going on in the series right now. Some of the decisions I've seen by the coaching, some of the issues I've seen from the players, and then I want to talk like, the potential domino effect of what could happen if we do not make this series at least a respectable effort as far as the not effort on the ice, but just, the score in the series, right? If we don't make it somewhat respectable, if we can't get a couple wins here and we just get basically quote unquote laughed off the ice, whether or not we were outplayed is irrelevant. The score says we were. But there's some things that have been bothering me about some of the decisions that have been made by Rod Brindamore. If you look at our forwards and you look at our top line of Aho, Gensel, and Svechnikov, in this series, they have combined for 13 points. The other 9 forwards, 3 points. I don't really know why that is, but I do have a theory. My theory is Rod has jumbled our lines up as, the bottom 9, I should say. Maybe not the fourth line. The fourth line has kind of, been the same group of guys, but, other than the Comtois Kuznetsov swap. But I don't know if I feel like Rod is relying more on the defensive side of the game by the way that he is building these lines. He is so worried about giving something up, it is choking our offensive capabilities, in my opinion. But then, that's hard to say because we've been good 5-on-5. But all of that's coming from our top line.
I mean, one thing I'll say is Fetch came back and he's had a really good playoff.
He has.
Getzel's been doing his thing. That's why we brought him in. Aho's been great. Jarvis has been great. Nason's been great.
Well, I don't know if Nason's been great this series.
I mean, the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, this series, it's been the top line.
Yeah. But I'm just aggravated with, like, the second line. There's not. I don't agree with how he is. I mean, yeah, the top line, whether it's Svechnikov, Jarvis, Aho, Gensel, whatever, those guys are going to produce because they've all got chemistry. But what I don't understand is your second line. I mean, you got Natchez up there who, had a decent game last night, but I'm starting to really believe that his game just doesn't translate well into the playoffs.
Who, Natchez?
Yeah. But you've abandoned your second line. You've got Martinook playing on the wing. You've got Drury in the middle. Drury's a fine player, but he doesn't score much. Right? And so you've been rolling out Natchez, Drury, and Martinook together, and you're just not getting anything out of it. You didn't really get much out of it, and you didn't get anything out of it in the Isle series either. You brought Evgeny Kuznetsov in for a reason. And you bury him on your fourth line with grinders, and you give him 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes a night. Mm-hmm. Put him on your second line. Let him play with Natchez. Move Jarvis back up with Aho and Gensel and put Svech on that line as well. Why have we gone away from that? Why have we gone away from Gensel, Aho, and Jarvis? They had one night in the Islanders series where they struggled, and he abandoned it, and he refuses to go back to it. Not saying that, the top line hasn't been good. But I don't like Jarvis on the third line on Stahl's wing in this series.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't really know. I felt like we had it early in the series against the Islanders, and it just switched immediately. And I was shocked. I was like, "Well, this line's been great. Like, why aren't you gonna keep playing this line?" And I like Svech on the top line. I won't discredit that. It's just Getzelaho Jarvis played really well in the regular season, and Svech played fine on the second line. It's just too much jumbling, and I think he's too stubborn to change the lines back.
Yeah, and I think that, Martinook has no business on the second line. Like, Martinook's, we know what Martinook is. He belongs on that third, put the third line back together. I know Jesper Foss is hurt and he's not playing, but Teravainen, Stahl, and Martinook is fine. I don't know. Or Svech. Svech played well there. I don't know. I just don't. I don't like how we did things that, one way all season, and then all of a sudden, playoffs are here. Well, let's just get away from everything we've been doing, and we'll just do something completely different because one guy is hurt now in the lineup.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
I think the injury to Jesper Fast is bigger than we thought. Like,
Yeah, that's
I mean, you wouldn't think that he carries so much weight, but I think he does. Like that. I mean, look at the penalty kill, right? The penalty. Two of our best penalty killers are injured, in Brett Pesce and Jesper Fast,
yep,
and you can just feel it. I don't know. Just a little vent session there.
yep.
There's just some decisions that Rod Brendamore's made in the playoffs that just baffle me. One of them's the lines. One of them is his refusal to practice or hold a morning skate. You've got power play issues. Your special teams are struggling, and I mean, I'm assuming they watched video, but you don't go through it on the ice. You agree with that?
Video. Say it one more time. I interrupted you. My bad.
No, I'm just saying, do you agree with that? Like, do you think that they need to be practicing and holding morning skates? And,
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't have to get out there and have like a strenuous practice, but get out there and like
Work
get
with your line mates. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think it's that hard.
There's a
Rangers did it yesterday.
right. There's like a middle ground that you have to find between using rest as a weapon and practicing, but going like too far in either direction is a mistake. But I think we're too far on the side of like trying to rest. I mean, and then even on the break, the week off that we had between the Islanders series and this series, we practiced 2 days in a whole week. Meanwhile, Peter Laviolette's out there with the Rangers mimicking our defensive structure and working on it. I don't know. But and the fact that special teams has disappeared again, mainly the power play, has disappeared again for I don't know how many years in a row now. I just thought this year was different. We had a great power play in the regular season, and now it's gone. Gone. Then the team has no confidence, turning pucks over at the blue line, giving away odd man rushes, breakaways, leading to a shorthanded goal. In this series, we are now -1 on the power play. We're not even 0 for 14. We're -1 for 14 or 15 or whatever it is.
-1. Yep. That's right.
-1. So, AB, if we don't reverse sweep this series and win the next 4, or I won't say that. I won't go as far as saying that. I'll say if we don't rattle off 3 wins here and draw a game 7, I think there is a potential domino effect that could happen. And I hope I'm wrong on this. But if we get embarrassed again in this series and prove that it doesn't matter what we do in the regular season, we can be second in the NHL, third, fourth, win the division, come in second, whatever. It doesn't matter. No matter what we do, we can't get it done in the playoffs. Is it it could be a system thing. And I think there's a conversation that needs to happen. I've been the biggest supporter of Rod Brindamore. I love the guy. He is he's the Carolina Hurricane personified. But I think there will be a conversation. Now, whether there should or not, I'm indifferent on. I think he needs to stay. I think, I don't really think that the coaching is the issue here. I think he's made some dumb decisions. But a conversation is going to happen in management. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I think maybe this is why Tom Dundon pulled away the contract. Maybe to see what was going on. is this team going to finally get into the final and win the whole thing? Yeah, of course I want Rod here. He's a great coach. He's made some terrible decisions, but he needs a change something. There has to be somebody brought in that can run the power play besides him, somebody who can run the power play because he's run it. It's been great in the regular season, but come playoff time, nothing happens.
Yeah.
So, and if Rod doesn't get re-signed, your assistants are gone. Your UFAs are gone. You probably don't bring back Gensel.
Yeah.
There could seriously be a domino effect.
Right.
And I mean, I'm not. I know, and I feel like it's not going to happen, but I do think it is a real possibility now.
I mean, it is, and it sucks because like you don't want that breakup to be bad between the organization and Rod Brindamore. You don't want that. You don't. You want him to ride off into the sunset, with a smile on his face, build the statue out front. You'll always think of him when you think of this team. But, if that happens at this point, like that's a bad breakup. He gets fired. He doesn't, well, no, I wouldn't. No, he won't get
He
fired.
doesn't get re-signed.
He doesn't get re-signed. But it's it's a bad breakup. And then if he were to go coach another team, I think if he doesn't get re-signed here, I think he goes and coaches his son. I don't I don't really look for him to go take another job in another city for another team. But I think that it would just be different whenever whenever he comes back or whenever he's in the arena or whatever. It would just be a different feeling than it would if he was able to go out on top. And that sucks. But, to be honest, it very rarely happens to where a guy can go out on top. It's not common. Usually at the end of someone's career, it's, they struggle. I'm not saying he's struggling, but I don't think that his system, this man-to-man defense and all this stuff, I don't think it translates well to the playoffs or the pressure that we put on, the aggressiveness of the penalty kill or whatever. The team like the Rangers, you leave up the more pressure you apply, the more space you leave behind you, which allows a team like the Rangers who can pass quick, move quick, to get guys open into the net. So I think that this system that we run here is great for a team that is not prepared for it. On a random Thursday night in February, you outwork a team and get the win. But then when you get to the playoffs and your opponent has a full series and they can game plan against you and they can make in-series adjustments based upon what you are doing, I don't think it works. There's too many weaknesses. There's too many holes that are exploited. So something's got to change, AB.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Here's the thing too. And I'm about to wrap this up. But before we move on to this last piece, I will say, if you want to purchase tickets, and you want to save some money, first-time ticket purchasers can get onto SeatGeek, sign up, use promo code Caniac Sessions when you buy your first set of tickets. That's one word, no space between Caniac and Sessions. You can get $20 off your first ticket purchase. Take advantage of that. So I just wanted to run down a list here, AB, of UFAs and RFAs that we have to worry about this season. And, you know, I don't think there's a run it back mentality. If we lose this series, the second round, we don't make it beyond, there's not going to be a run it back mentality.
Yeah.
And if the coach leaves, there's definitely not going to be a run it back mentality. There's going to be, okay, let me go get my money. Let me go find another home. I mean, that's just the facts.
Mhm.
Maybe it's too early to talk about this, but I want to because it was on my mind all night.
Mhm.
But here's our current UFAs this year.
Mhm.
Jake Gensel, who up until this point has kind of expressed interest that he wanted to sign here. I don't know if that would change if we lose, but Jake Gensel, Teuvo Teravainen, Jordan Martinook, Stefan Nason, Brady Shea, Brett Pesce, Tony DeAngelo, Jalen Chatfield, and Antti Ranta. Those are your UFAs. Those are your players that you have. I mean, they're just gone if they want to be. I think Jordan Martinook will stay as long as Rod stays.
Mhm.
I don't see Jordan Martinook going to another team and playing the role that he plays here. I think that this style of hockey is his game. So I believe he would take a discount to stay. Stefan Nason, he's going to go get paid, and I don't believe we'll pay him. Teravainen, I don't think the organization's interested in bringing him back. And I think they will throw the money at Gensel to stay. It's going to be up to Gensel whether or not that's what he wants. So I believe Brady Shea and Brett Pesce would leave. Pesce would stay, I think, if they would give him what he wants, but I don't think they will. I don't believe we'll see DeAngelo back. Of course, I say that, but given his performance in the postseason, I could definitely see the team going back and giving him another 1-year deal at league minimum.
Mhm.
Then Jalen Chatfield, again, he's going to get paid. Does the organization want to go up and pay him or not? We'll see. And then Antti Ranta, we know he's not going to be re-signed. So that's your UFAs. Out of those, who do you think is most important?
Jake Getzel.
Well, right, but I'm saying other than that, like the guys that have been here.
Jalen Chatfield is definitely on my book. He's played so well, and he's really filled in his role. Would love to keep Stefan Nason,
Yeah.
but you're obviously gonna have to probably pay him like 3 million, 2.5, somewhere around there.
Yeah, he's not coming back on league minimum.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see everybody walk, but maybe Gensel, maybe Martinook, maybe Chatfield, and maybe
I'm
DeAngelo.
optimistic about Getzel. I'm not as
Yeah.
worried about that.
I think he likes it here, and I think he likes the thought of being able to play with,
Rod and
well,
Aho.
Aho, Jarvis, Fetch. I think he, of course, I mean, you can go find that anywhere, to be honest. Every top line in the league has a, I don't know. I think it's going to come down more to like family considerations.
That's true.
I think that's what it'll be. Um, RFAs, right? Current year RFAs. Marty Natchez, he has arbitration rights. Jack Drury, who also has arbitration rights. Seth Jarvis, um, and then these guys, just because they have the potential, next year to make the roster if, depending on who comes back and who gets signed or whatever. But Ryan Suzuki, Max Comtois with arbitration rights, and then Dylan Coughlin also with arbitration rights. I see all of them probably receiving qualified offers at least, or not, if not signed to larger contracts. But one to watch is Marty Natchez. Like, what does the organization feel about him? He's one of those players that like is going to get his money, but should he? Because is he really a playoff performer? I mean, he's been okay, but he's definitely, he lives for the regular season. But be interesting to see what they do with him. Do you think they bring everybody back, or who do you think one to watch is there?
They're obviously going to keep Seth Jarvis.
Oh well, yeah.
I'm probably going to say he's going to get paid like $7 million if I were to guess. Um, but I will tell you that we're going to have a lot more cap room um, than last year because a lot of those guys are getting paid like 5 million, 6 million. Uh, so I say you keep Drury. He's played fine. But yeah, Natchez is a big question mark.
Yeah. Well, listen to this now. Next season, right? So after next year, this is our list of UFAs, and this is just current, current contracts. This has nothing. There could be more depending upon who they bring back in like a 1-year deal or whatever next season. But Evgeny Kuznetsov, Jesper Fast, Brendan Lemieux, Dmitry Orlov, Jacob Slavin, Brent Burns, Freddie Anderson, and Spencer Martin. That's your UFAs next year. So basically, in 2 years, if you weren't to sign anybody, you're turning over your entire roster other than like Svechnikov, Aho, Jordan Stahl, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Everybody else would turn over. That's the only long-term contracts we have. And Jordan Stahl was only a 3-year. Long-term contracts we have is Aho, Fetch, and KK. That's it. Lots to be done. And that's why I say I just, we'll go through, the roster and the free agents and all that, like postseason after the playoffs are over. And, we'll kind of go through all that. But really, I just wanted to talk about this because there is a potential domino effect from getting smoked in this series. Something else I forgot to add real quick on the roster returning is, we've got obviously Bradley Nadeau, Jackson Blake, Scott Morrow, Ronan Seeley. Those are all like entry-level guys who will be around. No, sorry, Seeley's an RFA next season, not this season, but next season. So Nadeau, Blake, and Morrow will be around and have the potential to make the roster over the coming season or two. But yeah, just wanted to get that out there. I mean, if you don't figure this out, get some games in this series, we could lose our coach. We could lose our guys that we want to keep around. And this team next season and the season after could look completely different. And our little run here of 6 straight seasons in the playoffs could really, really turn around. But if you're not getting it done, if you can continue to be second round exits, and last season, I mean, we might as well have been a second round exit. We didn't win a game in the conference final, but you've got to figure out a way to get over the hump. If you bring in Jake Gensel and Evgeny Kuznetsov and add them to your group that went to the Eastern Conference final last year, you basically add Svechnikov because he wasn't there last postseason. You add those guys and you still can't get over the hump. Now it's becoming a structure and systems issue, not a personnel issue. We've got the talent to score goals. We've got the talent on the power play. You have to deploy them correctly.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I know I didn't leave you much room to talk there. I kind of just ranted this whole time, so I apologize.
No, it's all good. I'm just really frustrated. I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to go on a rant on real quick. Islanders fans.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
I don't understand how you root for one of your quote unquote rivals to beat us. Like, aren't y'all pretty much in the same state? Like, you're rooting for a rival to beat a team that you guys lost to. Like, give me a break. Come on, dude.
It's
I
because
mean,
Kane's admin hurt their feelings.
yeah, all that matters is y'all lost in the first round. We're in the second round. I I mean, y'all can talk to me when you win a Stanley Cup in the modern era, which probably will never happen. So all these Islanders fans like cheering, yay, yay, whatever. You can do whatever, but just to get so upset that, yeah, I mean, we're losing. We're probably going to lose this series. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But you guys lost. Y'all have no room to talk. So keep doing those Twitter fingers, and we'll see you guys next season if y'all even make the playoffs.
Yeah, they've Islanders fans have been all up in my mentions on X, trying to. They keep posting cry and those screenshots of the cry T-shirt, which I think is hilarious. But we like the Canes admin like broke these dudes. Like they are, I mean, they are still just so destroyed by those 3 letters that
Oh my
I mean it
gosh. I've seen people like, why are you taking it personal? Like, I mean, like, what are you talking about?
taking
What are
what
you
personal, like just because
taking
I
what?
you want to talk crap on, you want to post your stuff about the rain. Like,
Y'all's vacation already started.
look,
Ours may start in a
if
little bit,
if
but you
we
guys got it a week earlier. So
if we have destroyed you to the point of cheering for if we have destroyed you enough to the point that you are cheering for the Rangers in a series against the Canes just because the admin posted cry, like what does that make you? Who's taking what personal? Come on, man.
they'll always be our little brother.
Come on, man.
Can't win against us in the playoffs.
Nope. Not for the last 6 years.
So yeah, not in the last 6 years. Little brother, keep riding on the coattails of the Rangers. You'll never
That's
be
right.
as good as them.
That's
Your
right.
your franchise is terrible. Your GM is like 80 years old and needs to be put in a retirement home.
Yeah, yeah.
Terrible.
I just thought it was funny that the Isles fans trying to come in and like chirp about.
I think it's great.
Yeah, they want to come in and try to chirp about the Rangers series just because got their feelings hurt. But that's fine. You
I'll
guys
just
do you.
respond to the series win.
Yeah, I'm not even going to respond. I see their little tweets and I just laugh. Except for one
If you're
guy,
a if
I had
you're
to
an
comment.
Islanders fan, fill in the blank. They can't curse on this because it's family friendly. But I know you get the idea.
Yeah. All right, AB, I'm done. Are you done?
Yep, I'm done. We'll see what happens. Not looking good, but definitely some stuff to address in the off season. And Islanders fans keep crying.
Hey, look. If you can win Saturday and then you can go and get one in Madison Square Garden,
They're still alive.
then you come back home. If you're home, you can win that one. Two of the next 3 games are at home. Take care of Saturday, then turn your head to the road, take care of that game, then you're back home. Just get it to game 7. It's possible.
It is possible. Anything's possible.
If the Rangers can win 3 in a row, the Canes can win 3 in a row. Find a power play goal. Look, Tony DeAngelo needs to be on that top unit. Brent Burns has had a rough series, to say the least. Hey, I'm not saying I have 100% faith, but anything's possible. Okay, I'm really done now, AB.
Yeah, I'm done.
Take us out, buddy.
Well, thank you so much for listening to session 42. If you haven't already, please follow us on X, Instagram, and Facebook at Caniac Sessions and Follow us. So not follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube at Caniac Sessions. Yes, the one you're watching right now. Click the notifications bell, like the video, comment, interact with us. You can follow Griff on X at M_Griff10. You can follow me on X at AB Caniac Session. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you in session 40.